Parkland Junior High in Woodland Hills, and I went over and I got issue of Cinemagic.
Cinemagic.
Which you got the mask making issue.
Right, number 6.
But I remember exactly. But I got the blood formula from Dick Smith in, I can't remember if it was issue 4 or something, but it had the guy with the nose cut off.
Okay.
And once I got that, I was wondering what was photo flow, because I never used that.
Right.
But
so you never got around to using photo flow?
No.
No. Well, it's a very toxic chemical. So it wasn't,
That's why.
It wasn't meant for actually putting in your mouth.
Yeah.
Some people confuse that. Can I put that in my mouth? Can I put it? No.
Yeah. Remember the days where Morton Greenspoon was the only guy doing lenses?
Right.
And I remember he had done lenses for the man from Atlantis, the green lenses. And back in those days, cosmetic contact lenses were like $2,000.
That's right.
$3,000.
Right.
Unheard of that, change the color of your eyes. But anyways, I know I went through a lot of phases that alarmed my mother of spurting blood. I went through a deer hunter phase where I would have a tube under a bandana and like a gallon jug, and I'd step on it and blood would fly out of my head. When did you first start getting into the blood effects?
I think the first time I got into blood effects was the Tom Savini's Grand Illusions.
Sure.
I think he may have had a blood formula there, but somehow I figured out it was the Caro syrup, corn syrup, and food coloring. And once you figure out the formula, and you have blood. My parents bought me a video camera in 1982.
Sure.
And that was the year that video cameras were first introduced to the retail market.
Was it VHS or was it Beta?
It was a VHS. It was a camcorder where the machine, you carried it on your side with a battery. And
the backup.
Right, exactly. You had the camera there.
Right.
And as soon as the two went hand in hand. I started photographing blood on camera and shooting home movies the same year. Yeah. I just remember that if you didn't clean up Caro syrup, corn syrup, it turned into candy, like hard candy, like on floors, on rocks.
Sure.
Yeah.
This isn't going to stain my clothes, is it?
Yeah.
No, it won't stain your clothes.
It'll just be preserved forever, your clothes, right? Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, listen, hey everybody out there, this is Don Lanning, and I just had a wonderful experience this week, and I wanted to introduce you all to my friend Joe. This is Joe Castro, everybody.
Nice to meet you, everybody.
Yeah. And we're talking about blood gags from youth and inspiration. As special effects artists, a lot of us start out doing blood gags. I certainly did, and we never stopped. And Joe called me and said that he wanted to come by and work with me, which I was so thrilled.
I've been looking forward to taking this class for about a year now. So and all the stars aligned, and we finally the dates aligned, and we were able to work together.
Absolutely. He's an established artist, an established effects guy. I've been lucky enough to have people come in and work with me that are absolute pros and also beginners. But we just spent 40 hours, and on the first day, Joe came in and showed me this drawing. Do you have it there?
It's actually
photo.
This is where the picture came from. It's Herschel Gordon Lewis and I together.
Yeah.
That was about a decade ago.
Right. Where's our? There we are. Isn't that great? Well, now who are we talking about here? We're talking about Herschel Gordon Lewis.
Yeah, there you go.
And here he is here. Wonderful. Now, to do a likeness is probably one of the hardest things you can do. And I love it because I knew it was going to be a challenge, and I love it because the proof is in the pudding. Here we have Herschel, and I just love that. Now, you knew Herschel, and I want you to spend just a minute and just tell everybody out there about working with him.
Okay, well, I met Herschel in 2001 on the set of a movie titled Blood Feast 2.
Okay.
It's called Blood Feast 2, All You Can Eat. And
All You Can Eat, yeah.
That is actually the sequel to the very first slasher movie ever made.
Which is?
Blood Feast.
Blood Feast.
And Blood Feast was a movie that Herschel wrote, produced, directed, shot, created all the special effects for, edited, and also made all the blood and gore in the film. I think I covered everything.
Yeah.
So, and Herschel did this movie in Florida back in 1963. And 1963, and he established the formula for the slasher movie. So he is literally considered the godfather of gore. He first exploited blood in motion picture cinema on the silver screen in 1963.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's probably safe to say that he was one of the first guys, if not the first guy, a precursor to Tom Savini.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Well, it was considered actually pornographic to show color red blood on a movie cinema in a movie theater before 1963. He was the first one to do it.
Right.
Yeah. And you know, he's responsible for the slasher formula. And what that means is, I love to say this, I love Herschel. Herschel has influenced literally millions of filmmakers all over the world. Herschel invented the storyline of the slasher film, which is a deranged killer stalks innocent victims one by one,
Right.
killing each victim on screen in like a horrific, gory death. And then at the climax of the movie, the killer dies at the hands of the hero or heroine of the movie in an even more gory, on-screen, horrific death.
Sounds like every every slasher movie.
Ever made. That's his formula.
Okay.
So he has literally influenced and inspired like millions of people all over the world, filmmakers all over the world.
Tell us something about working with him. I know you got a chance to be on set with him. Tell us about that.
That's me on set with him, and you know, Herschel was like really big on making the special effects gory, and that meant something to him. You know, pouring blood was what I considered what was gory at the time.
Right.
So I put a lot of blood on it, a lot of blood. He goes, no, Joe, that's not gory enough. And I know I'd put a little bit more blood in different areas. He goes, no, Joe, that's not gory enough.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, what do you mean? He goes, come here. So we took out like a bucket, like a 5-gallon bucket, and we went over to the craft service table, and he put some mashed potatoes from craft service in the bottom of the bucket. He put some chicken skin and gravy, and then he put a little bit of blood on top of that.
Yeah.
And he kind of didn't mix it all together, but he kind of mixed it around. He said, now put that on some parts of it, and that will make it really disgusting and gory.
I love it.
I went, oh, good. I get it now.
I love it. And what production was that on?
That was for Blood Feast 2.
Blood Feast 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I had the honor and the privilege of creating the special effects for the sequel to the very first slasher movie.
Yeah.
And the man just literally changed my life. He showed me how to be a gentleman.
Yeah.
He showed me how to be more professional. And of course, he showed me how to make my gore even gorier.
I love it. I love it. Well, once again, to us in the special effects business, it's a big part of our lives.
Absolutely.
A big part of our lives.
Absolutely.
I want to talk to you a little bit about this sculpture. Tell us about, well, once again, this is just 40 hours of work, everybody, and he's nailed this likeness. I love this. The class is ending tonight, but he's going to take this home and continue to detail, put his signature on the back, flesh out the hair, and you're going to mold it?
I am. I'm going to mold it, and we're going to make a silicone likeness of this to be displayed for everybody to enjoy and appreciate and pay homage to Herschel Glenn Lewis.
Well, I love it. See, with our heroes like Dick Smith, Rick Baker, Rob Bottin, they show us the path.
Absolutely.
They give us the inspiration and they give us the agenda. What do I do next? Where do I go? Well, we tend to emulate our heroes.
And, one of the amazing things this man did for so many people was he so freely gave to others.
Sure.
You know, just like these amazing secrets and amazing lifestyle of how to relish and enjoy filmmaking.
Yeah. High escapism. And it's funny because my family had a problem with all the blood when I was a child and I was staging blood gags. And I tried to express this, that it wasn't just an obsession with blood. My mother called my father and said, he's doing a blood dance. Why does he call me Judas? It was the staging of an intense moment of death. And even though that's tragic and horrible, you can find things that are sublime. You can find things that are poetic and beauty in that kind of
It's still
media.
It's still very much high art.
It is. It really is, and it's hard to express because it's. But I think it taps into our fear of death. I think it's like all the people say about monster movies. There's a rehearsal of death. You don't have to die yourself, but there certainly is poetry. And you look at the films of Sam Peckinpah, The Blood Ballet. You see the society and the culture having these wonderful films of gore. And once again, for us, it's a fascination with creating those sublime moments, but it's also the mechanical aspects of trying to take away skin where you can't on an actor, to arrange your blood tubes or your gunshot effect so that it moves people. The technical aspects of achieving gore can be wonderful. Absolutely.
It's like a new adventure each time with a new face, a new actor, creating the illusion. Absolutely.
I love it. Well, this was Wed Clay. Yeah, once again, I want to ask you, what was difficult about your week? What was easy about it?
Well, I just want to first start off by saying this could not be possible without Don's beautiful and amazing direction and teaching. And some of the amazing things I learned this week were being able to create a very professional looking finished piece. One of the most difficult parts of it were the eyes, I'm going to say.
The eyes were difficult. Yeah.
And Don, but Don was so gracefully showed me how to attack it as if we were putting together a puzzle, and it made it much easier. Yeah, it made it much easier to digest the information you're giving me in small bites.
Yeah.
How to make the lids, how to make the bags, how to put texture on this, how to make it all look as if it were part of one entity with muscle, with skin flowing over the cheekbones and whatnot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it was your hard work. You didn't stop, not 5 minutes. The whole week, just like this. I love it. And anyways, needless to say, I could go on about this for hours, but I had so much fun working with you.
Thank you, Don. It was an honor and a privilege.
Yes, sir. We can't wait to see what's coming up for you. Tell us, I know that you have your own shop and your own interest. Go ahead and look in here and tell us about what's coming up for you next.
All right. Well, right now my partner Steven Escobar and I are getting ready to create the sequel to a movie that was just released last year that we produced called Xenophobia. We're making Xenophobia Part 2. It's Xenophobia 1 was actually the very first ever alien abduction anthology movie. So if you like Star Wars, like the Cantina aliens, and you like alien abduction and sci-fi stuff, you'll love this film. And we're getting ready to produce the sequel to that. Also, I have a whole bunch of crazy big monster movies coming out this year. Under non-disclosure, so I can't give out any titles.
Sure.
But if you want, you can come to my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/joe.castro. I post all my work on my page. Give me a friend request, but more importantly, give me a direct message to say hello. Let's start a conversation. Let's make a movie.
Wonderful. Yeah. Let me have you say that one more time, quite loudly.
Okay.
Right for the camera.
So it's my Facebook address is facebook.com/joe.castro, and give me a friend request, but more importantly, give me a direct message and say hello. Let's make a movie.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you again, my friend. Everybody, thank you for your support out there, and thank you for the encouragement for our young artists, both professional and beginners. We have a class coming up next month, and I'll post some information about that. I am planning a class also for Monsterpalooza, the week after Monsterpalooza in April, and that's a very special thing. If you're going to be in town for Monsterpalooza and you feel like making a monster of your own, I want you to come and join me for the week after Monsterpalooza. But once again, it's been a wonderful week, and we thank you for spending some time with us. Have a happy weekend.
Goodbye, everybody.